First I want to talk about, so brushing your teeth. So another form of why it's MKultra is, the daily structure reinforcement of a menial task that you don't really want to do, and it's like programming you to go against your natural wants, or to conform to a cultural norm. So brushing your teeth, flossing, mouthwash, water picks, whitening, doing this every day. It's like a ritual, and it's a program so that you were more susceptible to do other menial tasks and just do it for the sake of, because that's what you're supposed to do to be a good worker, to be a good citizen, to be healthy, or whatever you want to call it. So while I was brainstorming, back to my flow here, back when I was brainstorming different terms, I got a download about, oh my gosh, the tooth fairy. And so if you're not familiar, the tooth fairy is like this strange American tradition, and I honestly don't know where it comes from. Probably started in the 50s or 60s, when the baby boomers were being born and the economy was trying to be, stimulated or whatever. But it's this American tradition where little children, when they start losing their baby teeth, the child puts their tooth underneath the pillow, and the tooth fairy comes at nighttime and takes the money, or it takes the tooth and leaves some money underneath the pillow. So you wake up as a kid and there's some money under your pillow. The tooth fairy was there. It's very magical. I don't know any religious ties to it, but I suddenly had remembered this whole story about me and the tooth fairy. And when I was little, I believed in the tooth fairy. I believed in Santa, and I purposefully fought back doubt that entered into my brain of it not being real, because I was so trusting that my parents wouldn't lie to me. You know the story. But so my parents actually divorced when I was 5 or 6, and when I was with my dad, he actually had one of his he's like, I had lost a tooth, and he's like, I have the tooth fairy phone number. I got the tooth fairy's phone number. And so I called, and he had, one of his girlfriends on the other line, and she was like, I'm the tooth fairy, and then I was like, oh my gosh, and she was asking me, what I wanted, and I had this memory that I was obsessed with obtaining this Tinkerbell fairy dust, this Disney Tinkerbell fairy dust. And I don't know where I knew about it. Maybe a friend had it, or maybe there was commercials on the cartoons I watched. But I wanted this fairy dust. It was like a sparkly, it was probably like talcum powder, something really horrible and cancerous. But I remember I asked, the tooth fairy for fairy dust, and I think my dad already knew that it was impossible to get, because I was so obsessed. Every time we would go to the mall, we would stop by the Disney store to look for this fairy dust, and they would never have it. They would always be out of stock of it. And so I think I ended up saying, I wanted to, my dad had asked, he knew that, ask for something else. So I asked for a fashion star filly or something like that. So, if you go break it down, it's, an exchange. You put your tooth under the pillow. This mythological creature, or this magical creature, takes it and it exchanges it value for money. So like a tooth is currency, it has this monetary value. And thinking about it, what program is this? What is this? You know, like what is this teaching us subconsciously? And it's a program to sell our body parts, you know, that we can take pieces of ourselves off and exchange it for money, and magic is involved or whatever, maybe selling, it's, you know, your soul, it's like a soul token, but you know, piecing off yourself and exchanging it for money. And when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about how, you know, your tooth gets loose, right? Your tooth gets loose, and then you lose your tooth, and how it sounded like loosh, right? Loose, lose, loosh. And you know, it being like a soul token, I thought this was kind of connected there. Then I started thinking about, so there's this movie called Cloud Atlas, and it's about this, basically like a soul family, this group of souls that are connected through different timelines, different generations that are running simultaneously, but all the stories interconnect and they all are like helping each other simultaneously, and the different actors are, you know, in different makeup and forms in the different timelines, but everything's kind of happening simultaneously. Anyways, the movie opens with Tom Hanks playing one of his characters in the movie, like in the South Pacific, on this beach, just like in piles of teeth, and going on about how, I mean, this is the opening in the movie about souls and all this, about how valuable the teeth are. And it was like a beach where cannibals were eating, and you know, they threw away the teeth, and he was like all like, they're so valuable. And then it also made me think of dreams with losing your teeth. I used to have, and I occasionally still do, they're nightmares where you're in the bathroom in the mirror and your teeth start falling out, or maybe your tooth is wiggly and you wiggle it and it starts falling out, and then all your teeth fall out, and it's just like horrific, and you're trying to like put the teeth back in. And I remember like when I was in middle school or something, getting interested in that and dreams and looking it up in different resources, and it was always like losing your teeth means that in a dream, like you're gonna be lucky, or you're gonna get some money, or you're worried about money. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But if you think about it, it's almost kind of like a program coming in to tell you that you need to go to the dentist, right? Like, go to the dentist for some more fluoride treatments. So, going back to teeth having an inherent monetary value, that's kind of the basis mostly for our obsession in at least American westernized culture with teeth, because it's a sign of social status, right? It's a sign that you are healthy, that you're that you have money to spend on your appearance, that if you're a parent with a child, that you care enough about your kid's appearance to the rest of society. You want your child to look, you know, like they conform and that they're healthy, and that you want other people to know that you have enough money to spend on your child for their appearance. So it's a sign of wealth. It's, you know, keeping on a good face. It's, you know, the $1 million smile. It's keeping up a mask. It's building a mask and constructing something, you know, pulling teeth, wiring, moving, shifting. It's, you know, going against maybe a natural process of what your DNA intended to form what you feel is appropriate for society. Veneers, you know, veneers is a term for what, you know, all the celebrities have. They don't have teeth. They have little stumps with veneers over them. And a veneer is another sign, you know, another word for mask. So, going back to, you know, to the concept, another thing I thought was interesting is going back to the concept of soul tokens. You think about, like, the old-timey notion of taking a photograph. A lot of people back in the day were, they would not get their photograph taken because they believed that it was stealing their soul. And there was, like, you know, you would get your death photo, or there's a better term for it, where you take a photo when somebody died, and, you know, what do you do in pictures? You smile, you show your teeth. And what do you say to get somebody to show your teeth? You say cheese. I can do a whole other thing about cheese, because then we go down to, like, the moon made out of cheese, you know, mousetrap, cat and mouse, cheese. But, you know, photographing your soul tokens, saying cheese, like, you know, like you're getting a mouse in a mousetrap. I just thought that was a little interesting. And then my last kind of weird connection thing is weird celebrities tied to, I'll just put it very vaguely, or what's the word? Not epitome, euphemism? Who have ties to child abuse, have things with teeth, like Epstein, you know, I think John Epstein or something Epstein Island, the Lolita Express, the horrible island in the Bahamas where all the politicians go to, you know, there's like child sex slaves and stuff, and weird satanic temples. There are dental suites, pediatric dental suites in this Epstein Island. Apparently there's photos of it, which I found interesting. And also Jennifer Aniston's, you know, I watch sometimes, like, ties to Pizzagate and all that stuff. But there's a lot of celebrities that collect teeth, that collect, like, jars of teeth. And they also do creepy things, you know, post creepy things with, you know, children related. It's like one person is Justin Theroux, Jennifer Aniston's ex-boyfriend, I guess. But yeah, he likes to collect teeth. And then you have there's like lots of movies with dental themes, like Little Shop of Horrors, like, you know, very alchemical movies with torture and teeth. So that's my video. There's lots more, but I'd love to know what you guys think. If you think of anything else tied with teeth, but it's definitely a way to get us to, to dissociate and to conform to rituals or to procedures that we otherwise would not do, and to keep up a mask. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed day.